Ray Perkins Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola and your local Coca-Cola bottlers. Remember, Coke is it. And by Frito-Lay, the makers of Doritos. And by Pony Shoes. Hello and welcome once again to the Alabama Football Review. What a pleasure it is to be with you today. Alabama now 2-0. They beat Ole Miss yesterday 40-0. Coach, congratulations on your second victory.
Thank you, Mike.
Do you as a coach ever have any feelings in the locker room before the game that the team is going to come out and put 40 points on the scoreboard and not let the opposition score?
No, Mike, you know, I think all coaches, that's one thing that all coaches try to figure out through the course of a season every week prior to every ball game. You know, I think they try to figure it out during the course of the week. And then just before the ball game in the dressing room, try to feel the mood of the team, whether they're up for the game, whether they're ready to play, or whether they're not. And I've seen dressing rooms every which way. I've seen them very tight, very quiet. I've seen them very loose and noisy. And I've seen them play both poorly and good in both cases. But, and I was asking some of our coaches in the dressing room yesterday prior to the game, do you think we're ready to play? You know, I know that our players for the last couple of days and there in the dressing room were a little bit looser than we were in the first game. I actually thought that it was good, because I think you can get a little bit too tight for a game. But certainly yesterday gives us a little bit better bearing on what our players are like because we came out the first half and just played exceptional football.
All right, let's get right to those first half highlights and watch the Tide roll. Packed house at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Coach Perkins, they get the football first, and the Alabama defense does not allow a first down.
Well, Mike, our defense played another great game as we did in the first game against Georgia Tech, and we were looking for improvements on our offensive side of the football, and I think we got them, especially there in the first half.
You were talking about consistency on offense all week long, and Alabama takes it on their first series and marches it right down here. Lenny Patrick breaks a nice gain for 25 yards.
Well, Lenny had a real good day again, and, you know, all our backs ran real hard and caught the ball when they were asked to. I felt like Walter Lewis had just an absolutely great first half, and that's about the most that he played with the exception of one drive there to start the second half. But our offensive line up front had to play real good, and because that's where it starts there in the trenches. Here's another pitch out to Lenny, and does a great job right here making 6 yards when he probably should have been stopped for no gain.
How important is it to you to take that football in the first possession and take it on down?
Well, I think it's important primarily, Mike, from a confidence standpoint for our offensive team. Because we were still looking for some kind of a consistent drive to spark a confidence factor for our team, and you know, I think that's all it took. And I think when an offensive team can take the football and march it down the field after the defense has done a great job in stopping the other offense, it's a big mental boost for the entire football team.
Here's the touchdown play, Joe Carter.
Joe ran the ball exceptionally well today. I can't remember exactly how many yards he had, but when he was called on, he did an excellent job. He runs one in for a touchdown and makes a great catch a little bit later on for another touchdown. This is Ole Miss' second series with the football, and that's Buford McGee running. They marched it pretty well down the field on the Alabama defense for a while. Well, they moved the ball on us quite a bit there in a couple of spots. You know, overall, our defense gave up not that many yards rushing and not that many yards passing. You know, overall, their net yardage was not that much for an entire ball game. That's why our defense just did a great job. I think I don't think there's any question that our defense won the hitting battle. I think we had a lot of good licks. Here's Stan Gay making an interception there in the end zone. We had 5 interceptions. We spread it around pretty good back in our secondary. And then Wayne Davis, one of our young freshman linebackers, made one of the interceptions. As you said, there was Stan Gay. And here comes Walter Lewis, completing it to Joey Jones. Joey with 3 catches on the day. Walter, 13 out of 15, set an Alabama completion percentage record in the football game. Well, like I say, Walter just had an absolutely great first half. He was executing both run and pass, and the pass particularly is where you rate a quarterback or where you evaluate a quarterback. Here's a great job by Walter here, reading the blitz and popping the tight end, Thornton Chandler, who runs it down the field for 52-yard gain down to about the 1 or 2 yard line. That was a great play in the game. Anytime you can pop a 52-yard gainer in there on the defense, they're all up there on the line. Someone must have blown a coverage there on that play. Craig Turner in now, short yardage situation, and he takes it in for the score. Craig does a good job, great job for us in the third down short situations, third down 1 and 2, and then inside +5 down on the goal line.
Kent Austin, their quarterback here, and he finds the going a little tough as that Alabama pass rush is on him.
Well, I tell you, we kept pressure on him all day and got him for quite a few sacks, and he had a little bit of rough time in there today. I expected him to come out and give us a little bit more of a battle, but our defense was up for the challenge and just rose to the occasion.
We're in the second quarter now. Walter Lewis to Greg Richardson. What a day number 17 had.
Well, I was real happy to see Greg have the day he had. You know, he returns a punt a little bit later on and makes 3 or 4 catches there as receiving, and that's just a big boost, confidence factor for a freshman receiver. Here's the touchdown pass to Joe Carter. Joe makes a great catch here and gets it in for the touchdown.
You're up 21-0 now, Coach. What's going through your mind at this point?
Well, 21-0, and the thing that's going through my mind is the fact that we're executing very, very well, both offensively and defensively. We're punting the ball well. We're kicking the ball well. We miss a couple of field goals, which I have to admit surprised me very much because Van Tiffen has been kicking exceptionally well all through practice. Here's another interception by David Villetto. Makes a great interception. Here it is again on the replay. From where I stood anyway, it seemed to be a little bit of a question mark whether he scooped the ball off the turf or not. But don't want to take anything away from David because he made a great play there. Great play here by the Ole Miss defense with a few mistakes by Walter. He gets hit hard, fumbles. Andre Townsend gets hit hard from behind, but, you know, quarterbacks are going to get hit from behind and get the ball knocked loose from them sometime.
Ole Miss has a scoring opportunity, and Kent Austin here completes for a first down inside the 5-yard line.
I think this is where our defense, this is one of a couple of times that our defense just really bowed their neck and rose to the occasion and put on a great goal line stand here. Because they make the first down, like you say, Mike, they're around or just inside the 5-yard line. They've got 4 downs to get it in, and our defense just holds them.
This is 4th down right here, and Alabama defense comes through.
Just a great goal line stand there. That's all you can say about it.
Now, we got the ball inside the 5-yard line. Ricky Moore on this play makes what I think was just a great run.
It's a great run to get you out of the hole. They have a penalty here. They inadvertently grab a hold of his face mask, which would have been a 5-yard penalty, but he just keeps it going and keeps working and brings it out there for about a 45, 46-yard gain.
Walter Lewis, I also thought, had a good day running the football as well as passing.
Yeah, we come out and run the option here, and the defense dictates for him to keep the football, and he keeps it up inside for about 7 or 8 yards. Walter's a real good running back. You know, he's the ideal college quarterback to me. He's a real good runner and a guy that can throw the ball exceptionally well at the same time. Ricky Moore, the leading ball carrier for the day, carrying there. Rick is just not—he's not just a good ball carrier. He's a big 230, 35-pound guy that can get you some of that tough yardage. He can catch, and he's a great blocker. Here was just an amazing play to me. Some of that sheer ability of Walter Lewis as he scrambles around and finds the opening to get in the end zone. Well, this is one of those amazing things. Watch him sidestep the defensive man here. But he just got great ability to make some people miss in the open field. Alabama 28, Ole Miss nothing at this point. Walter Lewis to pass here. Joe Smith on the reception. Joe Smith on a little play action pass, just a little bit of quick play action up into the line. 27-yard field goal by Van Tiffen just misses, but he would try again before the half. This is very surprising to see Van Tiffen miss these type field goals. He won't miss many of them, I can guarantee you that. A goose egg on the scoreboard today, and here's another great play by that Alabama defense as they hold. Alabama has another shot to score before halftime. Just shut them down. I can't say enough about our players. How hard they played with the intensity that they played with, and just a great effort. Van Tiffen, a 45-yard field goal to score at halftime. Alabama 31, Ole Miss nothing. Coach, what's your philosophy when you're up 31-0 at halftime? Are you going to come out and play conservative in the second half? No, you know, I don't think 31-0 at halftime. That's 30 minutes to play. You know, you have to understand or have to realize that the other team can also have the ability to score 31 or more points in the other half. So my philosophy is not to play conservative until you know, midway through this third quarter or starting the fourth quarter. What's it like then? But certainly we didn't want to come out and play conservative, and we didn't. Great run there by Walter Lewis for 21 yards. They took the football and marched it right down on that opening series in the second half. Well, march it right down the field on that first series, second half, and here we're down there knocking on the goal line, but yet we don't get it in. And this was something that happened in the Georgia Tech game on us. We got it first and goal on the 1, and we fumbled the ball down there. But right here, we just failed to get the ball across the goal line, which is just one of the few disappointing things that happened in the game.
Alabama didn't make it on 4th down, but here they fumble, and they recovered, but it's a safety.
Get a safety and 2 points out of it. You know, so that's some consolation.
33-0, and at this point, you put in a new quarterback.
Well, we put in Paul Field. He's the other senior quarterback, and I want to let him play some. At this point, we're wanting to let as many people as we can play and still have a chance to move the ball and give them an opportunity to play. Here's Joe Carter again making a good run on a little trap play up the middle. But we're wanting to play as many people as we can at this point and give them an opportunity to play, like I said. Here's another great punt by Malcolm Simmons. Malcolm just had a fantastic day punting the football. One of the 2 areas in our kicking game that we didn't do as well as we'd like to last week against Georgia Tech was our actual punting of the football and our actual kicking in the kickoff area. And we just did a great job in both those areas today.
Malcolm Simmons averaged 49.8 yards per punt in the game against Ole Miss.
Here's some more great pressure on Austin by our defense. He completes the pass, but he does a great job of stepping up in the pocket and releasing the football.
Here, Ken Austin again will roll out and throw and complete a pass. But the next time he'll be nailed, and the Alabama defense will come through. Big John Hand is about to recover a fumble.
I tell you, Ken Austin is a fine quarterback. You know, we get good pressure back on the backside there. That looked like Cornelius Bennett hit him in the back, and then we make the fumble recovery.
Now here comes one of the most exciting plays of the day. 62-yard punt return by number 17, Greg Richardson.
Well, as you look at it on the film, actually the Ole Miss defender swings him around and gets him headed in the right direction on this side, or he might not have had the opportunity or might not have seen the open lane. But one thing about it, when Greg Richardson touches the football and you give him a little bit of daylight and let him see some running room in front of him, I don't believe there's anybody on the football field that's going to catch him, because he has run a 10-100 meters, which is just outright flying. Right here's the one I was talking about where he swings him around, gets his momentum started back this way rather than the other way. He recognizes the lane there, gets a good block here. Can't see that number, but, you know, there's daylight between him and the goal line, and like I say, no one's going to catch him.
Alabama 40, Ole Miss nothing at this point, and there is jubilation in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now we go with the freshman quarterback in the football game, number 11. For the first time, it's Mike Shula.
Well, Mike had a pretty good day, I'd have to say, you know, from getting him in, wanted to get his feet wet. And, you know, we didn't do a lot of things with him at this point. Like I said earlier, we wanted to get a lot of people in. We get one tip there. Don't get somebody's hands down. But more or less just wanted to get his feet wet and get him just a little bit of experience. And we will along during the course of the year where we're allowed to. Here's Wayne Davis making his interception. And it's good to see him. Wayne Davis was our leading tackler, I understand, in the game with 9 or 10 unassisted tackles.
Shula tried for the touchdown here to Joe Smith. It's out of bounds.
Here's a nice throw. Joe Smith makes a good catch, but we lead him out of bounds. That's a little bit too far.
Van Tiffen from 42 yards away. It just misses, and the score remains 40-0. Alabama out in front.
This is one of 2 field goals that he missed. Like I say, I'm surprised that he missed either one of them.
Ken Austin sacked by Holman on that tough Alabama defense. Here's a screen pass. It goes for 14 yards and a first down for Ole Miss. They're not giving up. They're still trying to put some points on the board.
They're playing hard. You know, they've got a lot of pride just like everybody else, and they're still out there playing very hard.
Here comes a great interception by Tripoli, what I thought was a really nice play.
Just picture perfect here. Picture perfect by a defensive cornerback. Great effort to get up to get the ball over the offensive man and pulls it down for the interception.
Shows that there is depth in that secondary, the position that was a question mark at the beginning of the year.
That's an area on our football team that has just improved immensely, and it hadn't been without a lot of work. I can assure you, those young men have worked extremely hard.
Your defense here, Coach, were you fighting for the shutout at this point? Where is it a matter of pride that you wanted to keep the defense and keep the shutout alive?
Well, late in the game here, we put our first defense in. You know, I think more than the shutout, it's a confidence factor. Put your first defensive unit in to see if you can keep them from scoring, and it's a big confidence boost for the defensive football team as well as the shutout. But I'd rather think that it's more from a confidence standpoint.
That was fourth down play. They had the ball in scoring position. They weren't able to come up with any points. It's still 40-0.
This is Andrew Gilder, fullback on the toss play, gains about 6 or 7 yards there.
This punt by Malcolm Simmons travels 71 yards down inside the 5-yard line.
Just incredible. Incredible. 71-yard punt. He had a great day. More than made up for the week before.
Coming up, another Alabama interception, and this by a defensive back we haven't talked about. Sean Lee, number 12, will come up with the football.
Sean Lee, the next quarterback. Great interception here. Real good blocking. He picks up his blocking real well. You know, on interceptions, we have it planned. We have a plan for when an interception is made, and we want to return it down the sideline the closest to that point, and everybody else is turning it upfield looking for blocks. We pick up our blocking. There's a couple of good blocks there on the sideline from his teammates. Get some extra yardage out of it.
Coach, now you've got the ball in scoring position. You're up 40-0, but there's less than 2 minutes left. Are you just trying to run the clock out and end the game?
Well, if we can run the ball and toss it to these guys and run it and score, fine. If not, you know, like you say, it's 40-0. I'm not one that likes to rub anything in.
Well, there it is, the final play of the football game. Alabama's second victory of the season is in the books. The final, Alabama 40, Ole Miss nothing.